Okay, so in this video I will walk you through some of the tools I use to mod. I have been modding for nearly a year now, and I have 6 years of experience in studying software development, computer science in general. And what I learned is, for example, when you edit code, some people use don't use integrated development environments. They use something like Notepad++, and while Notepad++ is a way to edit code, it is not nearly the best way, and this is way more optimal to use an integrated development environment. These are programs that are built to write code for programmers, and so they have a lot of cool features. The one I am using is Intellij Idea by JetBrains, which is a very good one, but another one can be Visual Studio Code. This one is also very popular, and this is by Microsoft, I think. Whatever your preference is, you can download one of those, and I will show you. Here it is. This is our project. Like, I open the module data folder, and here I have all my files, my subfolders. I was working on the settlement overhaul. And inside the IDE you have a lot of shortcuts. One of those is Ctrl, Shift and minus, which will close all your XML indentations. You can also right click, folding and collapse all to do the same. Once you're here, you have Ctrl F, find in file. So I was working on Roma, for example. Here is Roma, and then there are the other mentions here, 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 whatever. What's more, Ctrl Shift F opens the find in files. So I write Roma, and then here I can see, and I can use the down arrow to keep cycling through all the Roma it found. And below here it shows me where it is, and I can even edit it here. I can cut it, and then I can edit it through here without opening the file. If I double click it instead, it will open the file at the exact position where I was looking. And after I do this, say I do I save the change, the next technology comes into place, which is GitHub Desktop. This shows me the changes and allows for version control. And this is very important because the thing is, GitHub has a functionality that allows it to merge code, and this is very useful when working in a group. If there's more than 2 people working on, if there's 2 or more people working on the project actually, for example, this is our old branch on GitHub, and we have our 4 branches, and this allows the project to split into branches which go in different directions, changing the code in different directions, which can help development go in different ways before going back together on the same branch by merging. And this is the very powerful thing that GitHub allows you to do. So let me show you how GitHub Desktop works. This will be the choice program because of its simplicity. You download this application. You open up a GitHub repository. For example, this should be private, but we will make those public. This is the new branch for the alpha, for example. And in here, I just click code, open with GitHub Desktop. It opens it, and here I already have this installed. So it will not ask me anything, but otherwise it will ask you where. For example, if I now delete this project, remove, and I delete it, then I can still just go here and download the code, and it asks me here where I want to put it, and I put it into the GitHub folder, and my local path is here, project Bannerlord alpha, and I say clone. It clones the project, and here I have the project. And this is the project. Here I have other projects. Here are the changes. Here is the history, and this allows you to see the changes done on the project, okay? The green is addition and red is deletion of single lines of code. And since we have a couple of 100,000 of lines of code, this is extremely useful to have an idea of what's where. Here I can change the branches. There is always 2 branches. This is the rule. So here you create a new dev Antonio. I create the branch. And here it asks me publish branch. I click publish this branch to GitHub. And the cool thing is the application will update actually the website of GitHub. So if I reload here, now I have also Dev Antonio. So if I link GitHub desktop to my GitHub project, then I can use the application to update the code on the website. So I have a main branch, which is the working branch, okay? When you need to test code, you go to your main branch and you download it. This is the flow. You go here, code, download zip from your main branch, and you get this code, okay? And this folder goes here. This is my module shortcut. Depending on where you have it installed, here I have Steam apps because I use Steam, Common, mount&blade, modules, Total War Bannerlord. This is our mod. You have to change the module data folder. This is all the files. I can overwrite them, and then I can test if the game works. Then I open the game, and if the game crashes, I know I have done something wrong. If the game doesn't crash, then this change works. So once the change works, I split off a branch, development, okay? And this is, it tells me here it's 2 commits ahead. So this I have not tested yet. So I will test this, and if it works, then I merge the changes I do into the master branch. And so my master branch now also has the latest changes, but right now I have those changes on my computer, but I have not tested them, and therefore I have not updated them on the internet. So the rule would be to always delete the old folder and then put in the new folder, because if you delete a file, otherwise you have leftover files. So now I can open the game and see if it crashes. This is part of the settlement update, and the branches thing you can also see here. I can go to Dev Antonio, and here I have the history. Origin dev, and here you have the history, and so you can see I did a change, and then I did another change for France, and so here GitHub shows me every change I did. So I changed this to 120, I changed this hearts here, I changed the hearts and the production here, and this is every change I did, and from here I can see which changes I did, and therefore instead of having to look through a 7,000 line long file, I can just look here and see the changes. If some change looks suspicious, I can roll it back, and here I have a quick overview of what I changed. Like here I changed Bordeaux. I don't remember all the changes I did, but here it shows me. And mount&blade is now open, so I go single player, mods, I check my mods, the mods are all there, I click play. It should not crash. I don't expect it to crash, at least, but you know, mount&blade modding will surprise you because it crashes surprisingly often. It is very hard to keep track of changes, and this is also why you test small changes at a time. So now I did the settlement rework for France, and now I test France. Okay, I stop working and I commit my changes on GitHub, then I download them, I put them in the game folder, and then I open the game to test them, and I hope it doesn't crash. I usually run through a couple of days if I do some unit changes, and otherwise just making a new sandbox campaign or something will do the trick, because you don't need, like, units will crash after some times, while if you change something with settlements, it will crash immediately if you did something wrong. So the game does not crash on this first part, which is good. That's usually hard crashes. That's like some very massive mistakes, like not having the files or something. So it's some huge structural problems. While here, if it does crash here, it's usually a mistake inside the files, so it's something in the code that is wrong, but at least you have all your folder structure right. It does not crash, it shows me the video, I skip the video, I just make one random dude, because it is important to get to the map and see if the map crashes. So here the map has not crashed. I usually make the first tick, the level tick, because that's another moment where I can crash. So now we observe the changes. I did changes in France. Yes, here it has grapes as I wanted it to have. The production has been changed accordingly to the rework. I will test one more thing. Cheat mode config dot cheat mode 1. I activate cheat mode, I go to Lutetia, and I see the prosperity. Yes, this is what I remember it to be. And let's see, Orléans should be quite rich. It is at 3-4, yes, this is also good. So now the changes seem to be working and stable, so I just exit to main menu, I quit the game. I know that my France changes work, so now what I can do is go back to GitHub desktop, and I have my changes here in the dev branch, okay? Then I go to main, and I go here, choose a branch to merge into main, and I pick dev where my changes are, and it says this will merge two commits. A commit is when you say, okay, this works, now I commit it, I save it on GitHub. So I did two commits, one is a change in the folder structure, the other is a France rework. I merge it, then I have to go here and push it. It's pushing it to origin, which is GitHub, the website. And now my main branch, if I open it in my code base, will have the changes done. Yes, it's not green anymore, because it changes color when the changes are not committed. And if I go to the website and I change back to main branch, it will also say France is the last update. I can see the commits here, and the last commit was France, and this is the changes which I did. And this was an overview on why you should use GitHub and some very basics on how to use it. I am not the best person to explain to you how to use GitHub. If you want to use GitHub, if you want to use an IDE, just know you probably should use them because they're way better than doing stuff by hand. And they help out a lot in both efficiency, testing, not messing up your code, distribute code. Like for example, with this structure, just the last thing, this is very important to working groups. You have this structure because on the main branch, no one commits except if it passes through the dev branch. So you go to dev and they have dev Antonio. Antonio goes to dev Antonio, makes a change, then goes to using the GitHub app, okay? Dev Antonio has a change on it, so I go to dev and then I say merge dev Antonio into dev, okay? And so I merge my changes into dev. If I have another contributor, which would be Alexander, then he has his branch, And then if Alexander does some changes, he opens up dev, chooses a branch to merge into, merges Alexander into dev, then tests dev because maybe his changes conflict with my changes, which I also merged into dev. And when dev works, then he can merge dev into master. And then once we do enough changes, we take master, we download it, and we post it on Discord to update the module data folder for the community. And this is the overview. If you want to learn how to use those tools, check out, there's tons of guides that are way better than what I know about those softwares, and you should check someone professional who can explain it to you better. Thank you for your attention.